Hi, and welcome to another Ask Anita from Philadelphia, where I'm having a great time. And last night I saw a great play. Here is the program from the play, Misconnections and Other Curiosities. This is a play that's ending tonight, unfortunately, starring one of the stars of the play, my cousin Hannah Van Sciver. And it's all about Craigslist, and it was hilarious. So I want to congratulate the whole group of people that put this show on last night. It was very, very funny. And if it comes to your town or you ever see it, make sure you check it out. Okay, well, as you know, I'm reading from my book, You Turn Me On a Radio, My Wild Rock and Roll Life, and we're up to chapter 2. So let's get started and pick up where we left off. Okay, here we go. Music was a big part of my life from the time I was a kid growing up in the Philadelphia suburb of Levittown, Pennsylvania. If you lived in the tri-state area, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware in the 60s, you grew up listening to rock and roll and R&B music equally. Instead of enjoying the beach in Atlantic City, New Jersey, I spent many sizzling, humid hours standing in line waiting to get into the ballroom of the Steel Pier. I saw the Animals featuring a very angry-looking Eric Burdon wearing the first dungaree jacket I ever saw. The stage was filled with trash cans, and the band sat on top of them while singing, "We Gotta Get Out of This Place." Eric Burdon was the first rock star to scare me a little, and I liked the way that felt. When I saw the Temptations, David Ruffin whipped me into a frenzy so much that I rushed the stage in the middle of My Girl. I took off my pink plastic bubble ring and threw it at him. When I saw Jerry and the Pacemakers and they sang Ferry Cross the Mersey, I was sobbing. I thought Peter Noonan of Herman's Hermits was so cute that after their show, I followed the crowd of girls to their hotel. I ran through the lobby and got into the elevator. When the security guards chased me away, I slipped into the stairwell. After a couple of hours, I realized that Herman and his hermits were not going to let me into their room. This would not be the night of my first sexual experience. In retrospect, the shows I saw on the Steel Pier were much more memorable than losing my virginity. It was a lifeguard, by the way, under the boardwalk in Atlantic City, but nothing like the song by the Drifters. I never missed a performance of a rock and roll band on the Ed Sullivan Show. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and even the Doors were in my living room, and it was very exciting. My favorite movie, Bye Bye Birdie, wherein the hot rock god Conrad Birdie comes to a small town and changes the life of a girl played by Anne Margaret. The movie ends with Conrad performing on the Ed Sullivan Show. I would think about it every time I was just off stage watching a concert by the rock star of the month. Everyone in the audience wanted to be with him, but I was the one he left with in the limo. I used my allowance to buy all the records that I heard on the radio. I skipped Hebrew school and stayed home to watch the Monkees on television. The Monkees concert in Philadelphia was my first. I took a shoebox full of chocolate chip cookies that my mom made. They were for Davy Jones, my favorite monkey. And I wore my favorite bloomer dress in the Mod Mod World style of the day. Instead of playing with others during recess, I stood in the playground shade, holding a transistor radio to my ear, hoping to hear I Want to Hold Your Hand for the 10th time that day. I started a Beatles fan club with just 2 members, a girl who loved Paul and me, the John lover, because I didn't want any competition. Philadelphia is known as a great radio city. I think of it as the city of brotherly love of all music. No matter which part of the city or suburbs you came from, there was a natural appreciation of musical styles, from the Temptations to Hall & Oates, the Delphonics to the O'Jays, Billy Joel to Bruce Springsteen, the Rolling Stones and David Bowie would start their stadium tours in Philadelphia. I think it's because the Philly audiences always had their backs, through the dreaded new songs and all the sound glitches. We show up for the opening act, and we hardly ever boo them off stage. We stay till the end of the show, and we demand an encore, even if the house lights are turned on. And we have to work the next day. We're always up for a sing-along. We know all the words. And in my youth, we could dance, since we all grew up watching American Bandstand, Philly's very own school dance party. Every day after school, I watched while my mother ironed. I dreamed of the day I turned 13 and was old enough to dance on the show. Unlike my excited parents, I wasn't looking forward to my bat mitzvah. In fact, I hoped to borrow a Catholic school uniform from my friend because all the best dancers on American Bandstand wore Catholic school uniforms. My early fascination with all things Catholic stemmed from watching Haley Mills in the movie The Trouble with Angels. I wanted to be that girl in that boarding school, mixing it up with all those nuns. Just like Haley Mills, I got into trouble when I went to Sunday morning Mass with my friend's large Catholic family. Her parents didn't notice that I slipped into their station wagon. I walked into the church with a big smile on my face, crossed myself the wrong way, and said a very loud amen. My friend's parents looked over at me and smiled. They all stood up, and I thought it was time to leave. I followed them toward the front of the church, and to my surprise, they fell on their knees. I tried to look like I'd done this before. The priest started walking toward me carrying some sort of smoking incense. Everyone on their knees around me stuck out their tongues, so I did the same. The priest dropped something into their open mouths, and I started to panic. I thought, I have to say something. When the priest was about to drop something on my outstretched tongue, I blurted out, "On vieweth." The priest just stared at me. "On vieweth," I tried to say again. The priest frowned. I closed my eyes and in a second tasted something sweet. And to my amazement, lightning didn't strike me. I went home and told my parents I'd been baptized. My mother told me to go to my room and study my Haftorah. Okay, we'll pick it up here next week. Until then, everybody, and happy Father's Day, everyone. Bye.